Hi guys, it's Ghoul, and today I wanted to share with you one of my speed builds. I did do this in around half an hour and I did try and condense it as much as I could for the video. It's going to be like a retro futuristic build, think the Jetsons, think Fallout, that kind of aesthetic, so here we go. Like always, I tried to just start off with the basic blocks. I really wanted to do some angled roofing. I thought that would be really cool alongside with the flat. I really liked how this turned out. I know it fits the vibe very well, and I actually really liked the fact that it overlapped a little bit. Normally that would have driven me absolutely crazy, but I'm kind of embracing it. Like I said, I gave myself around half an hour-ish to do this, and this is what I accomplished, so I'm actually quite happy with it. I did do it on PS4, so it's a lot different to PC, and yeah, I kind of really like how it turned out. There are a few changes, so the white stairs you see do get replaced in the end, but because I put the door there first, I totally forgot about it, and I did replace it later on in the video. I really wanted to use this kind of retro futuristic thing. I really wanted to take inspiration from the House of Tomorrow from Fallout 4, which is incredibly hard to build, so I decided to go with this way instead. I really wanted to make a statement front window like the game, and I wanted to include as many windows as possible because I know I always take them in and out. And I finished off with some yellow paneling, some cream paneling, and that's when I kind of realised that I wasn't too happy with how the stairs went. So especially with the marbling and stuff, I really didn't like the vibe that it fit, so I got rid of it and I did replace it with some amazing cream ladder type kind of stairs. I just thought that it felt I thought that it fit it a lot better. I don't know why, there's just something about it I really liked, and I really couldn't make my mind up on what I wanted, so I did go with a very basic concrete tile, which I kind of actually prefer. So I went with the angled roof kind of attachment, the trims. I went with a bluey green to match the front door, and I did cut this out because it did take a large portion of it. It's just landscaping. I did in the end, of course, use the cobblestone because I just thought it would fit better. But yeah, a lot of deliberation was made before this, but I'm super glad with how this turned out. It kind of does look like a little fresh show home, and I really liked how I don't know, like how clean it ended up being in the end. So I did end up changing the roof real quick as well because I just kind of wanted the scalloped edge, and I kind of think that fits the idea a little better. And of course, by having the greenery, it makes your building lot look a little bit more natural, and not just that you've stuck everything on all at once and at random like a treasure map. I often use this kind of thing to hide the fact that we have made a lot of lines and it looks like I've just drawn boxes here, there and everywhere, and tried to soften it up a little bit. I did include lots of greenery here, so it was something else for your eye to look at. And I did take a pause here because I wasn't quite sure where I was going next. I knew I wanted to focus on the outside, so I did. I put a bench by the front door and I put 2 benches in the garden, and that's me trying to measure up on the PlayStation. And yeah, I kind of liked how we carried on the blue from the front door, and I like the fact that we just included like little bits of blue here and there, especially in this fencing. I do actually like the fact that this took forever because I kept on umming and ahhing over the gate, but I am happy with the one that I chose, even if it wasn't even. My frustration was real. And sorting out the fence, like I really wanted to keep as much of the plants as possible, but I am happy overall with how it turned out. The garden was pretty basic, but like I say, I challenged myself to do this in half an hour, and actually I didn't think I did so bad. I did look at doing the decorations in the garden, but I just thought some lights would make it look a little better. I tried to focus on all the end points so it didn't look so harsh, and I know I did miss a little bit there. And then we go into the actual build. So this took probably a longer time to sort out than I wanted to. I knew that what I had The theme that I wanted, I didn't have a lot of stuff for because I did go with mostly base game. So with the inside, I wasn't quite sure on what I wanted to do with the space, as I normally tend to do a very open plan, but I know I wanted to include like a bathroom and a bedroom, and I just didn't know how to do it, so I thought I'd just make something really cool in the corner and add the bedroom on at the back of this room. I wasn't even sure about colour schemes or anything like that, and I'm actually really happy with how it ended up turning out. It wasn't normally my usual style, but to pick like one colour per room, but I actually felt like this really worked. I did use the original front door for this door and just a very plain basic door for the bathroom, and I'm actually really happy with how it turned out. I wanted to include that kind of long rectangular arch in the doorway because I wanted to have an open space at least somewhere. It is what I prefer, and I just kind of like how it ended up, and I definitely think that I'm glad I used that size for that little piece of wall. I ended up going with blue for the bathroom and the bedroom, I believe, and a very nice pink for the living room, which I wasn't actually expecting because a pink kitchen is really hard without it looking like a Barbie's dollhouse. So I ended up going with a colour that matched the front door for like the kind of hallway area, and adding lights. So lights I normally do last as part of like a big reveal kind of look, but I wanted to at least see what I was getting myself into. So I added the tiny micro lights, which I do with every build. And like I say, I was on a time limit, so I didn't really want to mess around with finding lamps and stuff. I did just chuck them anywhere. Obviously, hindsight, I would have gone back and made sure that all of those were neat. But for now, it was just about lighting up the room so I could at least see what I was doing. I thought that one was straight. So yeah, so that's all the black dots are. I did lose my patience with this tree, and I did manage to get it so it wasn't encroaching on the bedroom. I wanted to go with really cool kind of wood flooring, just because I kind of like that sleek look. I didn't realise at the time that I put wood in the bathroom instead of tile, but I'm actually kind of happy with it. I like how it went, and of course I wanted to match the hallway and the living room. So starting off with the bedroom, I kind of went with a very blue, kind of masculine kind of vibe. I actually don't like the rugs in this one, as you will see later on, but yes, I had to match everything, and of course I had to go with the Ordinite dresser, just because again it really fits the vibe that I was after, and I did go for the Ordinite occasional table as well. I normally leave enough room, but this is the first build probably on YouTube where it is against the wall, and I did include some more of like the dresses and that kind of thing. I was gonna leave this here, and then I did remember that there was a side table with a little bit of glass on, and finding a mirror as well was a bit tricky because I personally don't like to have mirrors that face the bedroom, but I thought this one was a little bit too high for the wall, so I ended up going with this kind of blue one with stuff either side, after noticing that that was a kiddie mirror. But yeah, I went with the blue one with the corner stuff on the side called the Source, and I just kind of liked how it turned out. Obviously, yeah, and then I realised these are here, so obviously by this point I kind of knew what vibe I was going for. I mean, it just kind of reminds me of like a little future future retro kind of house, and I like how it turned out. I did end up going for, there was this one painting that I really liked that I ended up going for, and it was like a canvas with like stripes on. You'll see it in a second, and it did there you go, and it just reminded me of Fallout, and I kind of felt like I had to include it. It's called the Super Symmetry, I believe, but I just thought it was really cool. It kind of added to that retro kind of vibe. I knew that I had to put a mat down, but actually regrettably I wish I'd chosen the other ones now. I do like essentially the pattern of it, but I think if I was to do it again, and maybe not so much on a time limit, I would definitely choose another rug. And I was trying to fill it to the bare minimum at the time. And of course, I shouldn't have rushed it. I'm known for being a bit of a speed builder. Um, but yeah, maybe I shouldn't have rushed it, and I could have put a lot more detail in. I did go for the Portiola Paula lamp because I just thought the blue fit really well. You will see throughout this video that I did end up going in the basement a few times, and that's simply because I was playing it on the PC before, and the PC and console is very different on The Sims. So the bathroom. I wanted to go for kind of like a very light bluey grey kind of build. I realised too late that I made this bathroom incredibly small, but we did our best with what we had, and I really liked how this one turned out as well. I knew that I had to kind of make the most of the situation with the room that I had, and I just thought, like, I always go overboard with my decorations, and today I learned that maybe that's not always the best case. So, moving on to the living room now, I knew I had to build a kitchen and living room all together, and I normally kind of go for like neutral colours, maybe some greys in there as well. But first, I knew that I had to include like a little reading corner or a little reading nook or some kind of detail before the living room, because I knew that once I did that, that was going to be the end of the build. So I added a little bookcase which I thought felt the theme, and honestly, having this little sofa and the bookcase in was a lot of hassle trying to get it right. I definitely would not do this again on a build. I think I would try and leave it as open as possible, or at least maybe have it so that either the hallway was bigger or the bathroom was bigger, so that there was just a lot more space. And I hadn't put many rugs down, so I'm glad that that fit in there, in all honesty with you. And I think I put a little lamp in as well, just because I kind of wanted it to be like a little nook where you can go and read. I was kind of running out of time, and I'm not gonna lie, I was panicking a little bit. So I am super glad with how it turned out. I think we did really well in half an hour. I definitely would add a lot more detail in. I would add curtains. I would add all of the stuff that I normally definitely would do, and I went really quick for finding these decorations. So there's some decorations under the tab that are shoes, and I just thought it's a little quick addition to the front door. I mean, how many pairs of shoes I've got by my door is beyond me. But yeah, I thought it'd be a super cute way of just decorating, and I always I always include a little hat rack and my little signature, which is a cookie jar. In every build I do, whether that's on Twitch or YouTube, I always have a little cookie jar in it. And here is where it got very girly very quickly. I ended up going with pink. I really wanted to go with blue as a difference, but I figured if we already had a blue room in the bedroom, to go full pink, and actually it works in my favour. I'm quite happy with what we did with the space. I don't more so actually than I probably have been in a little while. And as soon as I noticed that this one was pink, I was like, okay, I'm happy about this. Like, we're good. Like, this is a really good use of our space. I know it's meant to be a TV stand, but I kind of like the fact that it was a little different. And yes, I did end up getting rid of that bush because it just cut in, and I wasn't a huge fan of it in the beginning anyway. So here's me making a little more room for the kitchen, and I wanted to include something pink but not overly pink, so I went through the Vintage Glamour pack and I went with the Starburst kind of thing, which I thought was fine at the time, and then I went into the kitchen. So the kitchen we made very pink. I think we went with the pastel, and we used the Harbinger because I just thought that fit the whole vibe with the two metal handles. And every time I forget, the counters are not auto, so I do have to remind myself of that. And I didn't really want to lose any lighting, so I did move these windows a little bit, and I did chuck down the first thing I could find that was pink, because I was super aware of the time. I thought this was really fun to do, and I think obviously given the time, I definitely would add more detail in. But like I've said probably too many times now, half an hour is not a bad time, and I definitely would do it again. I added a super quick sink, a matching pink rubbish bin, and I think I just wanted to add the very basics. So I did go for a dishwasher over a tea set, which is very unlike me, but I did add a smoke alarm, even though no Sims lived there, a a thing for kitchen roll, a fruit bowl, and I believe the infamous mug rack. If you know me, you know how many mugs I have in real life, and I always like to include that. I did think actually about breaking this up with a kind of like a barrier, like a room divider, but it didn't really work how I really wanted it to. I think the room could have been a little longer for that to work. So after a little bit of like here and there, I did actually end up removing it and just leaving it fairly open. I think like my phone said I had like 3 minutes left or something, so I was obviously trying to get it done as quick as possible, but also not make it look rushed. So I did go in and look for every pinky kind of rug that I could find, and in the end I settled on this gem, which is the outside the box one. It does definitely look like Barbie lives there and I kind of like it, so I am actually really pleased with how it did turn out. I did want to remove that rug underneath, but in hindsight I think it would have looked cool if I left it there. So the last thing is adding a few little plants here and there, just to add some, I don't know, just some detail. I love the details in The Sims, so I did try and go for that, just to make it like look less like I, chuck stuff down. But in the end, it did look more like a showroom, so I was super happy with that. And I very, very quickly tried to look for like some things to go on the walls and stuff. And I think with the time we did really good, and I really liked the fact that normally I am the worst person to make a decision. I am such a procrastinator, but having this timed timed theme, it was like really easy to just put stuff down and be like, actually this is good. So I definitely would recommend it. It was a load of fun. And I don't know, I think it was really, really cool, and I've got so many ideas for what to do next. So here's me doing the very last of the decorating. But yes, I have another very speedy build coming soon, and I can't wait to show you guys. I'm super excited, and there's me just like really quickly putting things everywhere to kind of make it look a bit more cute. And of course you have to have a mirror by the front door just to double check that hairdo. But yeah, this is me, this is Ghoul, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. So stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.